Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is JP the Third, and I'm here today with Rainswept. This was randomly recommended to me on itch.io, and I'm looking for more demos to play for you guys. Not exactly a visual novel, but definitely within the field, and with the Haymakers demo, I am trying to bring you guys some different independent games that I think are entertaining. So, let's see what Rainswept has in store for us. Monday. Okay. I apologize if there's any kind of lag or anything here. I tried my best to get it all. What the hell is it? Ooh. Okay, that's gonna be a problem. I tried my best to make sure everything's seamless, but there may be some hiccups here and there. This presentation is far from bad. This is actually pretty good considering how simplistic it is. Captures the exact same spirit that, the 1080p and 4K and just try to run. I do find that interesting. As we get more graphically powerful, and that's not OBS or YouTube or your computer messing up. That was the game kind of clunking on us. So yeah, you can expect some graphical issues, some other things. It just comes with the name of the game when dealing with a demo. Alright. First, we are going to go with controller. Alright, I'm here. Time to see what this is all about. And these are our buttons that we can use to interact with. Very straightforward. Nice walk cycle on this guy. Interesting, very, very interesting. They've been here a while, it looks like. Now why would I do that? I'm guessing mess with the car. Terrible. What? I said terrible. Terrible business, all this. This was only a matter of time. Everyone knows that. I know. Still, they were so young. Young and stupid, you mean? The stories I've heard. Oh, was it murder-suicide? I guess you're right. It was only a matter of time. What? It was a matter of time. It's really coming down today. We should get back home. A few more minutes. I want to see what happens. But damn, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to catch a cold, that's all. Let's see if we can find a police officer to talk to. What's he up to? Man, please, you need to back away a little. What happened here? A murder? Johnny, get under the umbrella. Granny, I want to leave. Can I go back to the shop? Could see this coming a mile away. Wow. Man, please. Granny, please. Alright, Johnny, let's go. There's no point standing here now. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris was responsible, I'm so sure. It's hard to disagree, but let's not speculate. Detective Anderson, right? The chief is inside. They've been waiting for you. You need to control the crowd, officer. You need to push the crowd further from the scene, officer. What? You'll have to speak up. I can't hear you over the rain. The crowd! Handle them! There could be evidence out here. Oh, yes, I'm trying. Hey, Williams, what the hell are you doing? Trying to prop up this tape, sir. It won't stay. Well, get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir. Richard. Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, detective. Thing is, we're short of manpower here. We weren't prepared for this kind of thing. First time in decades. And to top it off, this rain out of nowhere. Let's get the crowd under control. I'm heading inside. Yes, detective, don't worry. Williams. Okay. So it looks like a murder-suicide here. Let's go inside. Well, look around for a little bit. The crowd is close to the crime scene. The number of cops are too few. This is poor. Can I get on? Okay. All I can do is... Okay, so yeah, we're going in. No point in hanging around here. Oh, wow. Again, low quality graphics, but still visceral as hell. Oh, God. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. Good grief. Am I gonna have to put a trigger warning on this video, Michael? Huh? Oh, God. Detective, now it's not the time. Detective, are you okay? I think so, yeah. Guess I'm just a little tired after the long drive here. Detective Anderson, right? The head office called in to say that you'll be joining here for this investigation. Sheriff Harris, and this is Lieutenant Watt. We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we'll need it. This case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? The victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head, looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, a single bullet wound through the abdomen. The victims lived together, were unmarried. Any signs of an intruder? No sign of the 4th century. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. An officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. There are no footprints outside of that window. Except the officers. He was careful. No sign of struggle or marks in the bodies either. What was the time of death? According to the next door neighbor, a single gunshot was heard around 0:15 hours. Yeah, close enough. We received the call at about 0:20 hours, and we're here in another 5 minutes. We found them dead upon arrival and confirmed the timing. What do we know about the weapon? Both shots were fired from an M1911A1 .45 caliber pistol. The ballistics report will let us know more. And any witnesses? Just the next door neighbor who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We could interview him shortly. Single gunshot? That is not what I see in front of me. Okay, again, you're either not... A few glitches and bugs, that's to be expected in the demo. Honestly speaking, Detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taking place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Dan was shot at point-blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. He then went ahead and shot himself, as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. I'm beginning to think that it was a very good idea, in fact. It's obviously a case of murder-suicide, Detective. So we've got it all figured out here already, huh? If that was sarcasm, I'll ignore it, but yes, more or less. Are you suggesting there was domestic violence involved? Well, it seems so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, rumors. You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not sure of that. And they were never really able to fit into this town. Never new here. Moved in about 6 months ago. Never got out much. Didn't make any friends. We don't need to analyze the obvious, Detective. That would only be inefficient. Officer Blunt will assist you through the course of your work here. Hello, Detective. And one more thing. We're looking to wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it if it can be helped. We have an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is really bad timing. Excuse me, respect for the dead, please. But there's no need to go around complicating things, alright? And I bumped the table. Yay. Just give me a story that works and we'll close this case quickly. It'll be nice. Okay. Good. I shall see you later. Goodbye. Okay then. Anyway, have a look around the room if you like. Come talk to me when you're done. Alright, so let's investigate. Clearly, if a witness heard a single gunshot wound, then she was dead before he got home. And then he saw the body and shot himself. The question is, how did she die? What's this? It's signed Chris 96. I'm guessing Chris built some of the furniture around this house. Can I get to the victims, please? Or maybe I can't. Oh, let's talk to him. Not very professional. I hope they knew what they're doing. The pistol looks, as the lieutenant said, it looks pretty old. It can hold 7 rounds. There are 4 rounds still in here. That means 3 rounds were fired from this gun at some point in time. If 2 were fired last night, where's the 3rd? Was it used on some other day? The gun belongs to Chris, according to Lieutenant Watts. Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the ones to use it. Is there anyone else who could have known where they kept the gun? From Pineview? I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could it be someone they were comfortable with or trusted? No one I can think of. 45 ACP rounds. It's a box of 20 rounds. There are 13 here, which means 7 are missing. 2 were used last night. There are 4 left in the gun, as we saw earlier. If 2 were used last night, there's still 1 unaccounted for. Was that used on some other day? Bullet wound to the head. The skull is badly damaged. Most of the side has been blown off. His body position and the way he fell would indicate that he was sitting sideways on the chair, facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates he was shot from this side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues there, though. He could have been shot from that window. At the moment, it's shut. Must get it checked for fingerprints and footprints outside. Could someone have entered and left through here? Should have fingerprint results in a couple of days, detective. Don't forget there aren't any footprints outside. If someone shot him from outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense. That way, the killer would need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Gunpowder residue on his right hand. Hard to disagree with the lieutenant here. This is strong evidence for the victim shooting himself. Unless it was made to look that way? His chair is falling on his back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. Red wine. Looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from the glass. It would seem that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane? Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. A glass of wine was knocked over. It looks like wine, but there seems to be blood here as well. How did blood splatter in this direction? It doesn't make sense, yeah. Officer Blunt, I think there was more than 2 gunshots that we're seeing here. Hey, detective. Need any help? Have a look around the room. Once you're done, talk to Lieutenant Watts. Okay, so he made some of the furniture himself. Yeah. We know, just from blood spatter, basic blood spatter, that all of it, yeah. Well, let's see. Some on this side makes sense because of how he shot the gun. So there should be blood here, where his on the pattern of his shirt. I think the blood, it looks weird, but we're not gonna go too deeply into it. She was shot here, Blood splattered behind and left to bleed out. Shall we proceed? Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. Rain is finally lit up. Right, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right here, right there next door. Coffee detective? Yes, please. You can ask him any questions you have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis. Well, let's see. I usually head off to bed around 11 p.m., as I usually do after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know. Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 a.m., I say I was woken up by a loud bang. I ran to my bedroom, and that looked straight down at their place. And what did you see? Nothing. Their kitchen lights were on, but that's about it. I went to my phone and called Lieutenant Watts here straight away. How long did it take you to get to the window once you heard the shot? About a couple of seconds, detective. Not more than 5, I'd say. I nearly fell out of my bed when I heard the shot, so you might say I was halfway there already. Did you see any sort of activity on the street? Anything unusual? No, detective. Everything was exactly the same as always. You said you heard... That's the thing. You said you heard a single shot? Yes, the whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good, so if there had been more, I didn't hear them. You can't explain that one-shot theory if it's a murder-suicide. You live alone, Mr. Willis? Yes, I do. Now I got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked over a couple of whiskeys. Know what I mean? Can anyone confirm your whereabouts? No. I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? It's procedure, I know Mr. Willis. He's cool. React to the unprofessional. We will react to this unprofessionalism. We'll need to have a talk later, Lieutenant. Talk? About what? Just later, okay? Okay, Sherlock. Whatever you say, Holmes. Screw you, dude. Did Chris and Diane have many visitors, friends, etc.? No, not at all, in fact. In all this time, I only maybe saw Jack coming over to fix their car, and Father Smith came over a couple of times when they newly moved in. A year back, almost. Nah, people rarely visit them because they mostly kept to themselves. See, never made any friends here. But sometimes folks don't like those kind. But sometimes folks don't like those kinds either. So I can't really say. Know what I mean? No. Please elaborate. You won't find anyone crying over their death here. Nobody really knew them. They never got out much. Sad. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Mr. Willis? I don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diane. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple of times, usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocks me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before, but a couple of times I was up a little later. One night about a month ago, I heard pretty bad things. There were some loud sounds, like stuff being flung around and such, see? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then it quieted down all of a sudden. We never received any calls for domestic violence, but people have often talked of stories of this kind. Oh dear. Can you remember what you heard when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, I was up late writing an important letter. I think it must have been between the 1st to 3rd last month. 1st through the 3rd September. Alright, anything else? No, that's all I know about this. Right, thank you for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem, and thanks for the coffee. So, Detective, you said you wanted to have a talk later. Is now a good time? Yes, Lieutenant. Please don't tell witnesses they're not under suspicion, especially not in front of them. So, basically, you're telling me that I don't know how to do my job. Is that it? All I'm saying is, this case isn't all wrapped up as you'd like to believe. How can you not see what's right in front of you? It's so obvious. Mr. Willis didn't see anything outside the house after the gunshots, and there was no signs of anyone forcing entry either. On top of that, considering how rough things have been between the two of them, you heard what Mr. Willis said, alright? That doesn't prove anything. We'll go with that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove anything. The state of their relationship could be relevant, or it might have nothing to do with this case. We still need evidence to prove it either way. As for not spotting anyone outside the house, we can't rely on one witness for the complete picture. A witness that was half asleep, I should add. Well, what? What about the door, huh? How was it locked from the inside? Explain that. I checked the door. It locks itself from the inside when you pull it closed. Regardless of whether you pull it from the outside or push it from inside. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that there's no conclusive evidence yet. Well, fine then. Dig as deep as you like, Detective. You won't find anything new here. I was perfectly capable of handling this case myself, but of course the head department had to complicate things. In any case, Sheriff Harris will probably want this case wrapped up before the festival, so don't expect him to wait for more than a week. I have to head to the station now, officer. I have to head to the station now. Excuse me, officer. Escort Detective Anderson to his hotel. Will do, sir. Asshole. We'll come back in the evening to search the house. Letters, diaries, or things of that sort. Alright. When can we expect the autopsy results? Day after tomorrow, according to the coroner, but I'll confirm and let you know. I'm guessing there were more than 2 bullets shot that night. We should take another look around the kitchen to make sure. 3 bullets, but... We're actually glad that you're here, you know. Although the sheriff and Lieutenant Watts would rather not admit it. Even to themselves. This is like the first murder here in the last 100 years or so. We have no idea how to deal with it. I mean... It's alright. I know what you mean. I just joined the force a month back, for instance. And the murder already. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I kind of knew them, you could say. I've never known anyone that's been murdered before, you know? It's kind of weird. A bit sad. I know as an officer I'm not supposed to feel that way at all. You'll be fine. Give it time. Thanks, Detective. Yeah, thanks, Detective. That means a lot. Tell me about him. What do you know about Chris and Diane? Well, not much. It's mostly what Mr. Willis said earlier. Nobody knew them, really. They came in here, kept to themselves. You'd hear stories about them. Everyone thought they were some kind of weirdos. I admit I kind of agreed with that sentiment, too. I feel bad about that now. There's no reason to make assumptions about people's character. The character can't be used as evidence. So I'd really like to help figure out what the real story is, whatever it may be. Sheriff said that there's a festival in town next week. What's that about? Oh, it's an annual thing. We have it every October. There's a fair on the Market Street. There's foods, rides. We get a lot of tourists from nearby states around that time. It's a good source of revenue for some of our smaller businesses here. That, of course, is less important in the light of recent events. Good to hear you say that. Of course, we can't go around trying to wrap up cases based on our assumptions, whatever the situation may be. I mean, these were people's lives that ended, and it's our job to figure out what really happened. So I guess what I'm saying is, you can count on me during this investigation. Thanks. Alright. Nice little character moment there. I'm hoping the local police will let me do the job I've been sent to do, though. I don't mean you. Detective, I know what you mean. Honestly speaking, Sheriff Harris is an asshole. I'm serious. He doesn't care about anything except running off home and taking it easy. This case probably ruined his plans to relax and enjoy the festival week. I hate people like that. Lieutenant Watts, though, he's really sweet. I know he comes across as a little obnoxious, but... Oh my god. What was that? I saw her. She was right there. Why am I seeing her? Why am I thinking of her? Okay. I don't know what's up with this guy, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. I don't know how long the series will be, but we will play through the demo in due time. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already in VNsnow.com. That is VNsnow.com. I am, again, it's not pure visual novel, but I am very interested to see how the story goes from here. And what the hell he's seeing. It's kind of a little Alan Wake, a little Twin Peakish kind of apparently, as far as supernatural stuff. Really, no. Let me take away. It's not even supernatural stuff. It's just bad memory. So, more like oh crap. It's a Nolan movie I'm thinking of, and it's not coming to me. Insomnia. So I'm getting an Insomnia vibe from it, but we'll see. We still got a lot of game to cover, or maybe not. You never know in the demo. See you guys in the next one.